I was thinking about the songwriting process and how it's essentially a series of problem-solving activities. And I don't mean problems in a negative sense, but we've got an idea, lyric idea. How's the best way to approach that? We can, and I've done it where you've pulled out A, B, C, D, different ways to kind of say a thing, and then you hit on something where you go, this is interesting. It's not completely cliche and all that sort of stuff. And so you go, right, we're on. Then what's the best, musical backing for that? What's the best way to carry that lyric idea? And all of that sort of process that you go through. And sometimes you get to a point where you've got, your verse and your chorus and you're building a song and it's just not sitting 100%. There's something about it. And so you go through the process of trying to solve that problem. What is it? Identify what the problem is. And then, is it chord changes? Is it rewriting the lyric? Is it, all of the things that you can go through on that. And at some point, and you're going through your checklist of problem solves, you got to go, actually, let's start again. Let's scratch this. And I heard a great story told by Bryan Adams about in the studio with producer Mutt Lange. If you haven't heard of Mutt Lange, he's a very famous record producer, probably most famous for the Hysteria album with Def Leppard back in the day. Also worked obviously with Bryan Adams, and Shania Twain actually made her career and married her at one point as well. Anywho, he was in the studio with Bryan, and they're working on a song, I think, for the Waking the Neighbors album. And Bryan's just like, man, I don't know about the verse in this song. The chorus is killer, but the verse, it's just not doing it. And as he was sort of saying that, Mutt was just listening to him, and Mutt queued up the verse on the tape machine. They were using digital tapes, and they were just sort of chatting about this, that, and the other, and Mutt just armed for record all of the tracks except the drums. And Bryan's like, what are you doing? He said, I'm getting rid of the verse. And he hit record and he just scrubbed the verse, and he was backing Bryan. He knew that Bryan was going to write good stuff. Bryan can write a tune. And so he knew that wasn't going to be an issue. We can generate more material. And I think as an artist, sometimes you've got to do that. You've got to back yourself. If there's an aspect of a song that's just not up to snuff, then if you've tried all the things, or most of the things, you do just got to call it and just go, all right, let's pull this back to bare bones. It's a really useful strategy. You've written great stuff already. You've got it in you to write more great stuff. Of course you have. Back yourself. Write bravely. I think that's the key, isn't it? Make great art. Ciao.